Hi, Floss Tube, it's Diane. It's been a while. Let's see, 4 months. Sorry, my hair looks... It's been a long week. She cut my hair wonky anyway. But, thought I'd do a video. Try to figure out where everything's at again. It's May 19th? No, 18th. It's May 18th, 2017. It's been a while. It's been 4.5 months. So I thought I would do a video. I'm in a different location, and yes, that's a yellow spot, and that's going to drive Joe nuts, but we're leaving it. Because I love you, Joe. No, this is one of those rooms that you have to do paint samples to see if it'll look good before you paint. Needless to say, it doesn't. So, that's our ugly wall. You can see it all beat up right there. And all these knee walls here. Pain in the butt. Whoever thought knee walls were a good idea was an idiot. A knee wall, for those of you who don't have basements, this is my basement. It's where you go up half the wall, because I have 8-foot ceilings, and then you jut out and you go up. So essentially, the bottom part here is where the foundation is, and then they put, I don't know how big the cinder blocks are, and then they put 2x6s? I can't remember. So then it's deep. Well, then instead of just going all the way up and making it until the 8-foot ceiling the same, they bring the wall in 5 inches and then go up. So you can't put a bookcase against it. It's a dumb idea. And nobody walks on it in our house, of course. You know, sometimes I'm just living that family circle cartoon. Let's just say it. So, we call it our ugly wall. I do know how I want to fix this ugly wall to make it look nice. I was going to do it last summer, but I was pregnant, so this summer, hopefully. I'm in the middle of a home improvement project, and notice I didn't say small because there is no such thing as a small home improvement project. We have 3 bedrooms upstairs, and 2 of them, the wall that they share, so they're kind of 2 corner rooms and then 1 other room. The 2 corner ones, the wall they share with a closet, and if you took the ceiling off and looked down, it would look like a capital I. It's one of those, 6 foot wide, 2.5 foot deep, useless pieces of crap closet. And I don't like those closets. Can't you tell? They're hard to organize. They're hard to keep organized. Kids' rooms, they're not great for kids' rooms. And they usually have bifold doors on them. I hate bifold doors. As a mom, I've put up with a lot of injuries through the years, which none of the baby books say, hey mom, you're going to learn what signs of a concussion are. They don't have that in there. And other injuries, but pinched fingers just freak me out. And yeah, I know you can pinch your fingers in a gazillion different ways, but bifold doors, when I see them, that's all I think. Pinched fingers. Pinched fingers, can't do pinched fingers. But, yeah, they're just a pain to organize, those type of closets. So what we did is we took out the wall and redid it. So if you look down on your ceiling off, look down now, it looks like a capital S. So essentially they're twice as deep, half as wide. Ideally, they'll be easier to organize, realistically. But it looks nice. They're going to have pocket doors on there. We have all the hardware in and the walls are finished and stuff. And then I painted them, those 2 rooms this last weekend. Of course, those would have to be the days that it decides to be 90. Really? It's been cold for May, for Minnesota. But let's have it be 90 when I am going to paint those 2 bedrooms. They look good. I got 1 more bedroom to paint, and then I have to paint the insides of the closets. And so they're finished, and then we'll have the doors on them. We haven't bought the doors yet to finish those and put them on. but all the hardware's there, and we've done all the things. I think it'll look nice. And so I don't have to worry about re-sheetrocking the ceiling or anything. We're putting cedar in the ceiling. Got a nail gun. Mama's got a nail gun. I'm sorry, I'm in a weird mood. I've had a long week. My husband's out of town on work. Mini Dot has a horrible cold. And he started crying at dinner time, and he started turning blue because he's so stuffed he can't breathe. So Mama ain't sleeping because she keeps checking on him. Those of you whose spouses go out of town a lot, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. I can't. I'm not wired that way. And my husband's work was purchased this last December. We found out the day after my husband's birthday. And he dialed into the meeting, and they're like, "Oh, aren't we great? Pat us on the back." Well, yeah, because you got your golden parachutes. What about the people who are actually doing the work? And nobody knew there was going to be a sale. It was a total surprise to everybody. Well, it's the second time in 2 months he's had to be out of town. So it looks like going, his old job, he was out of town maybe 3 times a year. And a lot of, at least 2 of those were in state. That wasn't too bad. But he's in Texas right now. No. Oh, he's not in Texas. He was in Texas last time. He's in New Orleans. And he's not liking it because it's like 85 and high humidity outside. And then the conference or training or wherever he's at, inside is 65. So he's like, now I have a cold because you go from outside to in, and yeah. But anyway, I have a list. I need to look at my list. I'm a list person, so I got a list. 2 pages worth of notes. So this is going to be a long video, maybe. My phone likes it. Which brings me to the whining on Facebook and FlossTube, and let's see, we have a free video service, and we're watching videos we don't have to pay for. Free videos done by people on their own time and dime, and we're gonna whine about it. Oh, they shouldn't laugh in their videos. I couldn't believe that one. I thought, are you serious? Oh, why do they have to talk about whips in their videos? Well, that's how FlossTube came about. That's what makes FlossTube different. So just knock it off. Or put a pair of pants on, get out of your mommy's basement, and get a job. I mean, seriously. Of all the things in this world to complain about, you're going to complain about that. Of course, we all have to admit, in the last few months in America, it's like everybody's complaining about everything. Everything. And it's just, I don't understand it, so knock it off. Okay. Last video, well, Mini Dot. Mini Dot is 6.5 months old. Yeah, it's hard to believe he's that old. Took him in last week for his well child check, and he was 19 pounds 8 ounces. Yep. He's not abnormally sized. He's good size. But I meant to talk about his club foot. When I was 20 weeks along, they did an ultrasound because they thought I had placenta previa. I'm going to move you because I keep looking at the wrong spot. You just see that I have you on a shoebox. It's been a while. It's been a while, sorry. I did not have placenta previa, thankfully. But then they saw that he had a club foot. His foot was turned the wrong way. And he does not have club foot. I meant to mention it last video and just totally right out the window. What he likes to do, he still likes to do it, is he likes to hold the soles of his feet together. He really likes to line up his toes. It's almost like I'm waiting for him to intertwine his toes. That'd be weird. He has big feet. He has big feet. He doesn't have those dainty baby feet. Never had those. But he likes to put them sole to sole. And if he likes to do it now, chances are he'd like to do it when in utero. And that's probably what we saw. But I did enough research on clubfoot and everything. And you know, I thought I was pretty prepared, as much as I could be, if we had to go down that road. We don't have to. But I do want to raise awareness for clubfoot. I want to do something cross-stitch related, but I haven't figured it out yet. So when I figure it out, I'll let y'all know. Because there are some organizations that really, really do a good job giving you information, helping you know about clubfoot, and yeah. So I'll let y'all know when I figure that out. On my last video, you see that FlossTube is a community. And we can tease each other, we can laugh at ourselves, and invite other people to laugh at us. I love that about this community. And I, last video, jokingly said that Minnesota had an Arctic polar vortex. Yeah, these new names that the weathermen keep coming out, it's winter. Winter, people. Calling it a vortex is not going to make it any warmer. But I jokingly said that it was a conspiracy by Canada to soften up the U.S. to get us ready for invasion. I was totally kidding. And Patty Smith, if you're not watching her videos, you're missing out. I love her videos. She lives in British Columbia. And she said, oh, you don't like our weather? You sure? She was teasing me, and we had a little back and forth. Well, my husband came to the table, and when he gets home from work, he wears, well, it depends on the client, but he has to have a you know, button-up polo or button-up shirt and khaki pants. And so he comes home, and he'll get a t-shirt and shorts, t-shirt and sweats on, whatever. So he comes to the table in his t-shirt, and I started laughing. Oh, I need your t-shirt. And he's like, why? So for my next video. Why? I said, don't worry about it, dear. He's like, okay. Now this shirt he likes to wear a lot. So let's just say before he packed for his business trip, I did it. Because I wanted to do this video while he was gone. I pick him up tomorrow from the airport. But Patty, this is for you. Because you can't always blame Canada. My husband got this at a convention. It says Splunk on the back. Computer things. So I'm not quite sure why this phrase. But I saw this shirt and I thought, oh, Patty's gonna love that. So Patty, this is for you. And yeah, this is just how I fold my shirts, but I had to share that with you, Patty. And I was challenging myself this week. Can I name all the 13 provinces in Canada? And I got them all except Nunavut and the Yukon Territory. I got 11 out of 13. That's not bad, considering I don't live in Canada. Might as well, though, eh? I just want to say I'm talking about everything in this video. The only thing I don't have for this video is a fully finished object. So if you don't like it, sayonara. I just, yeah. If you want to dictate what's in my videos, like Jessie Marie said, contact me. I'll tell you where to send the check. And it just, this bothers me because, I mean, Abby was almost in tears. And I'm like, why? Her videos are funny. It's like you're sitting there across the table talking to her. And I love that about her videos. She made her cry. No. And it makes it hard to watch Tracy's videos because I just watched her latest one today. Love the hair, Tracy. It is cute. It looks so good on you. It looks so good on you. But her videos, you never know if you're going to laugh, because I laugh so hard on her videos. Or cry, and I just want to give her a hug. Or she says something that somebody said something to her, and I just want to go knock some heads together, to put it nicely. So, yeah, just knock it off. Knock it off. January. What did I do in January? January was hard. My husband and I, at the end of January, dropped our son off to boot camp, to ship out to boot camp. He's joined the U.S. military. And someone asked me how I felt about that. Well, number one, I'm mom. I don't want my children line of fire ever. Ever. But I know the process he went through to make this decision. He talked to us. He talked to others. He prayed about it. This was not a knee-jerk reaction to anything. He talked with recruiters for months before he ever signed any paperwork. He did workouts and just, yeah. One of the parents in a support group I'm on Facebook, he said, you know, he's always been patriotic. He's always admired the military, appreciated their work. He said, but it's different when it's your own flesh and blood in the game. It was hard because he was supposed to ship out in June, but then he had an opportunity to go in February, and he said, well, Mom, it'll be easier on my body to ship out in February to go from Minnesota to California. Yeah. But, okay, we get one more birthday with him at home. And as things often happen in the military, things changed, and he left. The hardest day that week was his birthday. And very proud of my son. I'm proud of all my kids, but I'm very proud of him. He worked so hard to get there. It's funny because when they found out he was homeschooled, they're like, oh. Because all military people, at this point in American history, 100% of the military is volunteer. Which is amazing. Men and women stepping forward and saying, yeah, I'll do this. I'll be there. Defending family, friends, people I have never met and probably never will. That's huge. And now our son is doing that. And it was hard. And he will never admit it. But he does carry his heart on his sleeve. So, you know, he was crying too. I was going to say something about the military. I'm totally blanking on it. I'm sorry. But it was very emotional. It's hard. But we're really proud of him. And it's an adjustment. And yes, I did cry when my eldest daughter moved out, and I cried when my oldest son moved out. It's an adjustment. In February, we got sick. I don't know what it is about Valentine's Day. We don't do a big Valentine's thing because our anniversary is in March, so we do a bigger thing then. Then, you know, flowers and stuff aren't an arm and a leg. I got sick again. Oh, every muscle in my body ached. Every joint ached. It was bad. Anniversary, I mentioned. We celebrated our 25th anniversary in March 14th, which is not International Pie Day. Stupid. Not every day has to be International Blueberry Day, and they probably even have a Rainbow Pooping Unicorn Day now. People, come on. If every day is special, then none of them are. That's my anniversary. Okay? And 25 years. It's hard to believe. I remember exchanging vows and everything. But, yeah, blinked twice and here we are. We had thought we would go on our honeymoon because we were poor college students, so we had no honeymoon. And then Mini Doc came along and it didn't happen. My husband said, well, let's figure out when we're going to go on our honeymoon. I said, yeah, just think about it, dear. By the time we can actually go on our honeymoon, we can use a senior citizen discount. He didn't think that was very funny. I thought it was hilarious. The kids thought it was funny. He didn't think it was funny. I'm like, why not? So either that or we'll have wheelchair races. On our 10th anniversary, my husband's wedding band had worn through and mine was wearing through, so we got ourselves, poor college students, new wedding band. So this was our 10th anniversary. So yellow gold, white gold accents. So white gold, yellow gold accents for my 25th. Yes, I would do the finger salute, but you know what my thumbnail would be. So, yes, I know, very outlanderish. That's me. But yeah, we went out to dinner. Went to Pittsburgh Blue. We'd never been there. It was a restaurant my husband has, with all the vendors and stuff, he's been to about every restaurant in the Twin Cities. And I'm like, oh, there's this restaurant. Oh yeah, I've been there. Well, that sucks the fun out of it. But this one he'd never been to. The waiters, the waitstaff were wonderful. They were so nice. And the atmosphere was okay. Although, well, yeah, it was good. It was good. And the food was good. Although I didn't quite understand the price. Yeah, let's just say cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. But, you know what, it's our 25th anniversary. Why not? We also, in the bedrooms that I mentioned before, we decided to put in wood floors. So we put in engineered hardwood floors. I went to Home Depot to get an estimate. And so she says, well, $2,400. Okay, 3 bedrooms and a hallway. So I had her print it off for me, and I said, well, how much would it be for you guys to install it? She said, oh, $2,100. Excuse me? She said, well, yeah, that's for 2 guys, and then, well, and then if they have to carry the box off the truck, there's a $70 delivery fee from the store to our home. We live 5 miles from the store. And, well, like, maybe more like, less than 10. And they want to charge us $70. And then if the guys had to take the boxes off the truck, $1.50 a box. And then if they had to do this fee, and this fee, and this fee, she just started listing all these fees on top of the $2,100. And I thought, okay, if you say it's going to be $5 every time they pick their nose or adjust themselves, I'm going to scream. That's what I was thinking. So she printed off the estimate, and I came home. And I told my husband, $2,500. I don't get where the $2,500 is. And so we talked back and forth, and we watched some YouTube videos and said, we're going to install the floor ourselves, people. And so I ordered the supplies. And she had told me we needed 28 boxes of flooring. I bought 30. We needed 6 rolls of underlayment. And I bought the same underlayment, 6 rolls. Plus, hold on. Mom's in the public area, so my kids are probably going to walk through. They already know their mom's crazy anyway. The flooring, yeah. So I ordered that, plus I ordered a couple tools that were not on her estimate. It only came up to $1,900. Oh, I still had to drive to the store to pick it up. I'm like, what the? So we put that floor in. My 17-year-old son and 15-year-old son put the floor down. My husband cut everything. And I did the quality control and measuring. So we only used 25 boxes of flooring and 5 rolls. So there's one roll that wasn't even opened. And you know, the professionals, they would have opened all 6 rolls just cause. Just cause. And so I took all that back. Well, we kept one box in case of damage or something. But out of those 25 boxes, there was one board that we could not use. The others, you know, that they had like a dented corner or something. Well, you could cut off that corner and use the rest. So we did that, but there was one that we just couldn't. But we had to, there's a wonky angle, and so we had to have a template, so we used it for that. But we put that in 2 very long days, mind you. But we did it. Of course, I forgot to buy enough the T-molding that goes between the 2 floors. Yeah, of course, it's not available in stores, and it is currently out of stock online. Yeah. But it looks great. And I painted them, because I don't have the trim on. I'm painting them while there's no trim, because then I don't have to go around taping everything. Yeah. It looks pretty good. April, we went to our son's graduation. Hoorah, people. I am a Marine's mother. So when I say knock it off, I mean it. I am the original drill instructor. There's actually a t-shirt out there that says that. Mom, Marine Mom, the original drill instructor. I need to buy that t-shirt for myself. There's another one that says keep calm and hoorah. Hoorah is kind of a pep rally in 2 syllables for the Marine Corps. Each branch has its own kind of motivational shout, and that's the Marines. The Navy has a hoorah with an H. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, when they found out my son was homeschooled, and these tests, everyone who goes in the military, no matter what branch military, they have to take these tests, these written tests, general knowledge tests. And he was supposed to only get 70 out of 100. Correct. On his practice test, he got 87, and the recruiter said, whatever you're doing in your homeschool, it's working. So Terry, Stitching Petunia, you know how it is. We need to hear that from time to time. Whatever you're doing, keep doing it. We need to hear that. When he took the actual test, he got a 92. He either got a 92 and then the next person got a 91, or he got a 91 and the next person got a 90. I think he got the 92, so he did really well. So we flew out to San Diego, to MCRD, the Marine Corps recruiting depot out there. And trust me, when your son calls you, when they ship them out, they fly out. Well, from Minnesota, they fly out. When they get there and they process them through as they enter MCRD, they call you and they tell you, hey, I've arrived. But there's a script. And when your son calls you and says, this is recruit, and I've arrived safely, and blah-da-da-da-da, and I love you, bye. 12 seconds. That was the weirdest phone call I've ever received. It was a good phone call to know he'd arrived safe. But, because I was waiting up for it, it was like 11:30 or something. But, yeah. So, we flew out there, and, let's see, we flew out there on a Wednesday. Family Day was Thursday. First time we had seen him in 13 weeks. I was okay emotionally. And then, so they have some things, you know, for parents to go, and this is where they were at and all that. And we did that, and then I'm going to stop for just a second and restart this. Part 2 in a minute. Part 2. That way my phone won't and throw a fit. Let's just say electronics recently have not cooperated for me. But yeah, my son's graduation. And I do realize I've talked a half an hour and there's no stitching stuff yet. It's been 4 months, people. There you go. Yeah, they have some stuff, and then they come out at 10 a.m. at their motivational run. So that's the first time we see them in 13 weeks. And he's standing there. He is the tallest in his platoon, so he's very easy to see. And I just saw him, and he had leaned out, as in, that boy doesn't have any fat on him. It's muscle. Lean. And so they, you know, they're sitting there, and he can't look around for anybody, you know, they have to be in formation. But it was funny, I was looking at some of the pictures I took, and you could tell his eyes are going, okay, where's mom and dad? They said they're going to be here. They can't smile. And then they ran, and then he said they ran like 3 miles. Yeah, it's funny because it was just 3 miles. But I'm thinking, man, if I ran 3 miles, you'd have to take me by ambulance. But then at noon, so then they come in front of you, and then they go back to the barracks, take a shower, and get their uniforms on. They're, I don't remember the name. They're the Gamma uniforms. They're not the dress blues. Not on Family Day. But they're not their everyday camis either. And so then they come back out in formation, and they stand there in front of you, and the MC guy is like, okay, men step back so the moms can be in front. And some of the guys were, oh, you're a mom, you know, come up front, and they would step back. Of course, there were a few jackasses who didn't, and people knew who they were. And they dismissed them for liberty on base. They couldn't leave base. And so he didn't see me. And of course, 429 graduates. Everybody's yelling everybody's name. Nobody hears anything. So he started going that way, and so I had to kind of go through. And there was this woman right before they dismissed. I want to see my grandson. And I'm like, woman, I'm the mom. Get your ass back there. Oh, and she was at elbows flying. I kid you not. And everybody's looking at her like, who the? Anyway, yeah, on base, there were certain areas you couldn't go, and it was very easy to tell which areas you couldn't go in. Very, very easy. They had to have a mom physically removed from the area that she was told not to go in. I don't know where these MPs came from, but they were there. They were not there, and then they were there. And they physically lifted her and moved her. I want to see what his barrack looks like. No. I did take a picture of one of the barracks, but from the outside, and it was one of the barracks that was empty, because they have, I think they can have up to 8 companies going through at the same time. So his company, and then the week before a company graduated, the week before a company graduated, type of thing. So there are these other companies, and they're in the process of training. So this dorm, it was empty. It was getting ready for the next group to come in, so they were cleaning it and all that stuff. So that's the one I took a picture of. Nobody was in it, so it didn't violate. But they were all identical barracks, and I knew my parents would want to see kind of the architecture and stuff. But yeah, that mom got physically removed. And I thought, it's not that hard. Yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see it, but if I'm not allowed, I'm not allowed. Big whoop. And so I went up to him, I grabbed his right arm, and he turns. He said, there you are. And the MC had said 2-second hug. Let's just say all us moms were like, try and interrupt my hug with my son. And so we hugged him. Told him he looked good, because he did. And told him good job. And that's about all I could say. Except Dad's over there, let's go that way. And our oldest daughter had traveled out with us. And they're friends. And trust me, it's really great to see your adult your adult children as friends. It's really good. And so they hugged. It's kind of funny though. He is 6'4" and a little more. She's 5'4". So, but they gave each other a big hug, and then he walked up to my husband and hugged him, and my husband kind of pushed him back a little bit, and they shook hands, man to man. We didn't I'll have to edit that out. Well, we didn't have him hold Mini Dot because he said that they were told that they couldn't carry an infant while in uniform. I don't know if that's all the time or just that day. I don't know. I was under the impression it was just that day, but I wasn't going to let him carry him because I'm like, he's not going to puke on your uniform. So we got to hang out with him. We hung out with him for 5 hours. He had 6 hours of liberty, but we were so exhausted. We went back to the hotel early, and he was fine with it. And so there's this part of the base that the recruits lived in, and everything was here. And then there's a little bit of overlap, and then there's this part that they couldn't go on until they earned the title Marine. Because they earn the title Marine, they do what they call as the Crucible. And all this information is public. I'm not giving away any secrets. The Crucible is a kind of a march, hike, walk thing where, if I remember right, they have 50 pounds of gear, or maybe it's even more than that. It's like 48 miles, 54 hours, the equivalent of 3, maybe 4 meals. They get maybe 6 hours sleep at the most. Usually it's less. And then when they're done with that journey, I guess it's up on a hill somewhere, they earn the Eagle Globe Anchor, which is the symbol of the United States Marine Corps. So when we saw them on graduation day, or family day, they were Marines. But then graduation day is when they're officially get all their ranks and all that. You know, it's kind of an interesting way they do it. They're very organized on how they do it. Excuse me. But this side of the base, they didn't know it was over here. And my son's like, yeah, somebody said there was a Domino's pizza here and a Starbucks. He had no clue. And so we went out to lunch, and if I can, I'm going to put some pictures in of our son. I want to obey OPSEC and PERSEC rules. But there's one picture I don't think I can show. It's my son and all the DIs. My son's 6'5", all the DIs, I think at the tallest was 5'8". It was funny. He's standing there, you know, military man, and it was a funny picture. I don't think I can show that one because the DIs have name tags. And I don't want to break PERSEC rules. But we went to lunch, and then we walked back, and they have a PX there. And he didn't realize there was that there. And so we go in. He said, well, you know, I want to see if they have an extra uniform, because the everyday uniforms can wear out. And so we go in there, and they didn't have one in his size. I did buy him one. And he's like, no, Mom. I said, yes, I didn't buy you a birthday gift. I said, just the top and bottom. You take care of sizing, tailoring, blah, 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 blah. I said, this is something you'll use. So yeah, I'm getting it. And he knew at that point he couldn't argue with me. There's a point, you know, you don't argue with your mother. There was some video on Facebook. It was talking back to your mom, but it was the scene in Avengers 2 with Loki and the Hulk and sorry, Bunny Trail. We will now have a moment of silence for Joe as she finishes the bunny song. But it was so funny because I did that, and the other side of that floor was all electronics, phones, TVs, blah blah blah. And the Marines, they're all standing there, they're going, wow. I mean, their eyes were about this big. It was like little kids in a candy store, well dressed, well mannered kids. It was so funny. My daughter and I were talking about that later. Said, yeah, we just sat there and watched it. Just, they're like, we didn't know this was here. Wow. Yeah, TVs do exist. Yeah, phones. I might need to get a. It was just so funny. So funny because they've been told for 13 weeks when to get up, when to sleep, what to eat. Da, 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 da. It was funny. So we hung out with them, and then Friday was graduation, and they had said, you know, when they dismiss them from graduation because they can leave the base, said you'll see Marines, they'll be running to the barracks. I'm like, oh, they won't be, they'll be, you know, double timing it. They were running. Our Marine wasn't, but he wasn't very slow either. We got out of there 11:30ish. Back to the hotel, cooled down, fed Mini Dot. Yeah, there's a reason he's almost 20 pounds. He's like, oh, my eyes are open and you're here, Mom. Yeah. Yeah, we just started him on solid foods. He's not convinced. I need to make my own again. I started him on store-bought, and then when they get used to it, then I do my own. I have a really good book. My tush is getting sore, sorry. And then we went out, or he changed out of his uniform into civvies, and went out to lunch by his hotel and just hung out. And it was interesting because it took him a while to kind of reconnect with us. And I knew it would be better to reconnect with us because we left Saturday morning. I said, well, this way he can just reconnect with us before he has to jump in with everybody else. And that really was the way to do it. That was a good way to do it for him. And yeah, it was just, it's kind of surreal. It really is. And he is back at training now. Or we flew back on Saturday morning. Oh, something's going on. Hold on. Sorry. We flew back on Saturday morning, and he was home on leave. And then he's back at training now. Yes, I do know where he's at, and I'm not going to say. And then this training ends the end of this month, and we're not sure where his next training is. We think we know, but we're not sure. So, yeah. It's hard. It's different. You know, well, it's different with each child. But it's hard. So let's just say I've been really attracted to patriotic patterns as of late. I haven't bought a whole lot. I bought a few things. Okay, shall we talk stitching? You actually want to talk stitching? I'm going to do some shout outs first. I want to shout out Stitching Kitchen. Her videos are like 10 minutes or less. She is so funny. So funny. I love her videos. Her, you know, what's the deal about our fabric and why are we why do we get so many patterns? And oh, she's just funny. I encourage you to watch her. I'll try and remember to put her below. Atomic Stitches. I love Atomic Stitches. I've watched her, or Stitcher. Stitches or Stitcher? I've watched her for a while now, and I really like what she's stitching. She's stitching the Brooks Books dresses thing, and then when she stitches one, then she tells you the Grimm story about the princesses. Not the Disney one, but the Grimm story. It's in the Brothers Grimm. Nancy Brandt. Congrats on the grandbaby. I cannot remember her name. Congrats. Yeah, and I started reading Pigsty Princess. I'm gonna end up buying that book. I read a sample, and yeah, my daughter and I, we want to support you in your as an author. And Abby. Oh, yeah. If you're not watching Abby, you're missing out. But you make her cry again, this Marine mom's gonna kick your ass. Okay. You do realize I've given birth to 11 sons. So, I hear you laughing. No laughing aloud. Okay, stitching stuff. Let's talk stitching stuff. My stitching goals for 2017. Burst sampler. Haven't touched it. I haven't been in the mood for it. Siren Song. I have some progress. So Siren Song Mermaid. Nora Corbett. And I'm not as fancy as Jessie, so you're not going to see a preview. I haven't figured out how to do that. And here's where it's at now. I filled in this part of the tail, and I've started working where the fin comes up. I'm not sure how high it comes up, but this side. Still love the colors in this project. I like when Nora tries different things, different colors and stuff. Highly technical term. Grasshopper Pie, haven't touched it. Amira or Nora finished, that I started in 2016 or earlier, haven't, no. Something else finished or worked on. Yes. Round Round project, I haven't received it back, and then goal number 8 is regular videos. But let's go back to goal number 2. Goal number 2 is Morning Glory by Nora Corbett. And this does not count as the Mira Nora, but she is finished. And she's blingy. .32 count Belfast. Color's called Marble. Oh, on Siren Song, that's 32 count. I think it's Belfast. It's by Picture This Plus. It's called Serene. Yeah, 32 count Belfast. I like that color. And then this one. Now this one's kind of a conversion. If you kind of, sort of. Right here, you see those gold beads? Those are supposed to be green. These gold beads are supposed to be green. Why did I do that? Oh, I don't have the pattern with me. Okay, one of the beads, I can't remember which one it was. So you have these kind of champagne-y gold, and then you have these green ones. They're the same size. They're both 40,000 something. One of the symbols is an open circle, and one of them is an open diamond. Really? And they're using the same area of the pattern. I'm like, okay, there's a filled in circle in the pattern, but there was not a filled in diamond. They could have just filled in the diamond and it would have been easy to see. But by the time I noticed it, now I have the hiccups, oh great. she was, I don't know if she was done or almost done, and I said, you know what, she's a conversion. I'm calling her a conversion. And I used B5200 instead of white in this whole pattern. And I like it. I have an idea how I want to fully finish her, but I haven't looked at anything in order to be able to do that yet. So my goal number 2, Morning Glory, is 100% complete. Oh, that's my back. Oh, except you know what? I need to put my name on there. I need to sign it. Aside from that, oops, sorry. She's 100% complete. So there's that one. And then from Lizzie Kate, I kind of threw this together at the last minute. I still left it in there. I don't know where I put stuff. I don't know anymore. But Lizzie Kate, daughters are a special joy and sons are a special joy. I started these in January, Crazy January Challenge 2016. 32 count Belfast French lace linen. And this is the daughters are a special joy. And I thought it was cool that there were 3 flower pots because I have 3 daughters. And so I found these charms at Joann's and they have their initial on it. So there's a K, an E, and an A for my daughters. And then for my sons, the original pattern, so they have the sailing ship here. The original pattern had some stars, and I was trying to figure out how to put more stars in to represent my sons, and it looked weird. So I thought, okay, these are up here, and those are the stars. So there's J, H, I, L, M, let's see, S, F, G, C, N, B. And I used Almo's cotton flosses, and I do know how I want to finally display this, fully display it, whatever, but I haven't looked at anything to get the materials together to fully finish it. But I do also have, in that category, I also have progress. So the first one I pulled out to do some progress is this one, Garden Stars by Ink Circles. I started this for a round robin project it started in 2015 and it went into 2016. And I had stitched this guy before I sent him out. And so then I knew it would come back unfinished and I was fine with that. Not a problem. So then the ladies filled in some of the other ones. And yes, I say ladies, because that's what we had in our group. So here is where it is at now, and it is a large project. So I'll be moving it around a little bit, but not so much you get nauseous. So here's the whole project. And okay. So here's the guy right here that I stitched before I sent it out. He's the largest motif. He's not exactly in the center, so it would be a good anchor. And here, can you see that gold? That's the vertical center. So yeah, there's a lot to go. But I added this guy, this one, and this one. So there are 3 smaller ones in here, maybe 4. Well, there's a bird, so maybe there's 4. But I also asked the ladies when they stitched one to put their initials by it, and I think that adds a lot of character to the piece. So it's almost half done. This is 32 count linen. It's Belfast. I can't remember if it's cream or ivory, and I lost the tag. But the project calls for 27 different shades of green. It is no longer sold on 1, 2, 3 stitch, so I don't know if this pattern is out of print. I hope it's not. It's an ink circles pattern, and it's really nice to stitch on. Particularly because each motif is like a mini finish, and each motif is just one color, so it makes it really nice to do. So I did that one, and then when I got bored with that one, I pulled out another project that I started in 2016 or earlier, and it's from the Just Cross Stitch April 2016 issue, and it is Seasons in Chalk, Spring. Sherry's talked about this one recently in one of her videos. I think it's in last month. Yeah, I'm behind, but this is 18 count. It's called Heaven, and it is from Fabrics by LJ. And I essentially just had a little bit of green here with this little bit of white around it. Oh no, I didn't even have that. I just had a little green. So I've added a lot. I will say I'm using 2 strands. I probably should have only used 1 strand. I am using the charted colors, and I'm thinking I'm going to need another skein of the chalk, which is the white. I'm pretty sure I am. So what I'm going to do is just finish the spring with the chalk color, and then if I have to use a different white in the border, it'll look like it's supposed to be that way. Unless I might have an opportunity to get another skein of chalk. Let's see. I worked on that one too. And I started that one last March, I believe, 2016. I'm in a cantankerous mood. These are new starts. So that's the progress that I've had. Oh, I forgot some finishes. Unless I have them out there. I don't know where I put them. Well, when my son shipped out, I was pretty emotional, and I needed a new start, so I did some new starts, and I don't know where I put them. So sorry. Because they are finishes too. I have no clue where I put them. I'll have to show them next video. Sorry. But they're starts and finishes. They're little Christmas ornaments. So sorry. Okay. Yeah. So sorry. But I do have some starts here. That's gonna bug me now. I don't know if I'm gonna post this video. So be it. But let's get some stuff out of the way. Some stash position, shall we? It's February, cottage of the month. I already have January and March. I know how I want to stitch these and display them, so I'm not sure when I'm going to start them. And my phone's going to want to do something again. So, on to part